Indigenous People of Biafra has raised the alarm over what it called the secret and indiscriminate elimination of Igbo youths, particularly in Orlu in Imo State. The pro-Biafra group, in a statement by its media and publicity secretary, Emma Powerful, entitled "Nigeria Government is Silently Silencing the Southeast Region," alleged that the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian police are behind the dastardly act. IPoB statement read, "The noble family and movement of the Indigenous People of Biafra, led by the great and indefatigable leader Madi Nnamdi Okwu Kanu, condemns the alleged indiscriminate and extrajudicial executions of Igbo youths across the southeast region, particularly in Orlu province of Imo State. The latest extrajudicial execution of some youths from Obidi Oberuru of Ihite Owerri in Orlu, Imo State, by the Nigerian Army is among the most horrible silent ethnic cleansing practices that the Nigerian government is sponsoring against Igbo in Igbo. These murdered youths were going about their normal business peacefully. Sadly, they were accosted by the Nigerian Army on patrol and were shot dead for doing nothing. There are many unreported killings and forced disappearances of youths in the southeast region, particularly in Imo State, by the Nigerian security forces. Why is the Nigerian Army patrolling in our villages? The silent genocide of Igbo youths in the southeast region that started during the Buhari regime has sustained in this Tinubu's government. Why the hate? Nigerian soldiers and police are the real terrorists terrorizing Igbo and making Igbo unsafe. The statement continues to read, "The tribal bigoted government of Tinubu is doing everything to provoke Igbo to pick up arms in self-defense so that he can unleash a full war on Igbo like his kinsmen did between 1967 and 1970, but they can't control the future. We are alerting Igbo governors, Igbo at home, and notable Igbo in the diaspora, the international community, and human rights organizations to be aware of the silent genocide being perpetrated by the Nigerian government against unarmed civilians in the southeast region of Biafra land. Igbo governors must work to stop the indiscriminate arrests, extrajudicial executions, and forceful disappearances of Igbo youths in the hands of the Nigerian security forces. The Nigerian government and her moderate security forces have profiled Igbo for elimination. They are silently and systematically killing and causing disappearing innocent Igbo youths. The constant harassment and silent genocide is a strategic plan to intimidate Igbo youths to desert their communities while making their communities vulnerable to Fulani terrorist attacks. The entire southeast is heavily militarized and policed to choke life out of Igbo in their land. What has Igbo done wrong to warrant the brazen slaughter of innocent Igbo youths by the Nigerian government and her murderous agencies? Earlier, the Nigerian government and the international community conduct a referendum for Biafrans to decide either to peacefully and democratically exit Nigeria or remain suffering in Nigeria, the better for Nigerians and Biafrans alike. But using intimidation, illegal arrests, torture, extrajudicial executions, and forced disappearance to coerce Biafrans to accept Nigeria will not work. Instead of Biafrans loving Nigeria with the level of innocent Biafran blood wasted so far, they will be radicalized to hate Nigeria the more. Forced unity is slavery. Igbo is known to revolt against slavery. Our ancestors revolted against British slavery. Our fathers revolted against Nigerian hegemony. And this generation of Biafrans will revolt against silent genocide and ethnic cleansing if the Nigerian government refuses to do the needful. How could the Nigerian government and her murderous security forces be eliminating innocent Igbo youths as if our youths are animals? But one thing is certain to the tribal bigot government of Nigeria: Igbo cannot be profiled and defeated. Igbo did not come into this world by mistake. Now, that is part of this statement. Let me ask you, Chizi. Now, a lot have been said in their statement about the silent, according to them, the silent ethnic cleansing and silencing of the Igbos in the southeast. Now, part of the angst the federal government had against Nnamdi Kanu was the manner by which he, propagated his ideologies against the Nigeria, and the manner by which he expressed displeasure against the marginalization, what he called the marginalization of the Igbo people. Now, IPoB is releasing a statement, issuing out a warning to the federal government with regards to the killings in Igbo land, particularly Imo State. One of the things that was predominant in the statement I was reading was the offensive use of language against the government. Do you think this is a recurring decimal with the IPoBs, the language they use in passing information?
Chema, I have said this without contradiction. That you see, Chema, you can ask for anything. In fact, you can go ahead to ask that you do not want to belong to a particular place. But sometimes when you are asking for these things, and then you are using languages that are offensive, Chema, we are first Africans before any other thing. I can tell you that it's not particular with even the Igbos. The North did it during Jonathan. Because when Jonathan was even president, there was this ethnic cleansing, they want to silently cleanse the Muslims and all of that. It's been a recurrent decimal. But I've always said this. In the democratic setting, either pact or the group of people have the right to either say they want to belong or not, and then you organize a referendum. I was saying this not because I'm supporting any particular ethnic nationality. I have said that the day the Southwest, they do the West, stands up to say they want to succeed, that they may even achieve it more than or quicker than the Igbos would have done that.
Why do you say so?
Well, I say so because, let me use this, this security outfit that was in the Southwest. You know that even the Buhari government was against it. But you saw that.
You're talking about the Amoteco.
The Amoteco.
All right.
Yes, you saw that both the governors, the legislators, both at the federal and everything, spoke in one voice. And insisted that, look, we need this in our own community. And because it's a democratic setting, it was done. But in our instance here, especially this other place, we are using very insultive words. We can say, look, we want this and begin to do it. Because when you begin to use those kind of offensive words, even the international community you are so looking for their support may not want to support that. Because the words you are using is more threatening than what you are even asking for. So I think that they should tone down on the kind of
language
they use. You mustn't insult to be able to get what you want.
Good point. All right. Now let's look at the crux of the matter, the ethnic cleansing in the Southeast, particularly Imo State. Now, Imo State is peculiar in its level of insecurity.
Sure.
You have a case of the Omoma. You have the ESN, the Eastern Security Network. Now, the governors or the mayor also brought his own. You recall that Asari Dokubo one time came out to say that the governor recruited his boys, that those people were his boys, and they were called the Ibubago. Is there killing happening in Imo State? The truth is yes. Particularly in Orlu. I can say that for a shorty. I can say that for a fact. It has affected people close to me. And killing of innocent people, actually. Entering of homes at night to kill young men. And the killing, ironically, is targeted at a specific age group, the youths. Particularly the men, not even the ladies, the men particularly. Now, you have the Omoma fighting the Ibubago, you see Ibubago fighting Omoma, you see Eastern Network in between. Then they now have an additional one, unknown government. So now you have 4 different groups fighting themselves and at the same time killing innocent people in Imo State. The question is, what exactly is going on in Imo State? If you go to Orlu, you rarely see youths. Everybody, practically most of the youths there have run away. I remember one certain time I had to go for a burial in Orlu. Oh God, I drove In fact, my tentacles, everything was just up. I was paying attention to, I didn't even wait for the end of the burial, but I had to go because of the relationship I have with the people. I didn't wait to the end. I was so worried, you know, and even the few youths that I saw there, I'm like, in my head, I was wondering, like, probably they don't have a way to get out of the community. So what do you have to say about that? Now,
Choma, you've mentioned the one you can even identify, 4 different outfits. And of course, if there are 4 different outfits, the essence of community policing is almost getting defeated. Because it's now looking cultic. If you look at it, because
like they're not like cults.
Cults fighting against
under the guise of whatever.
And then you don't expect the government to fold their hands and relax. So it is us that has given the government or the external forces that opportunity to come into our listing to do whatever they want to do. I will be here and condemn in strict terms innocent killings. Of course, even the ones you call innocent, I mean, I don't know if there is any killing that should be supported, because of course, if you have security outfits, they should be able to cope with intelligence to catch those who are sponsoring them and prosecute them in the court. And so I will condemn that in totality. But again, we have also given them the opportunity to so do. We have the ESN, we have the Omoma, we have this Webubago, we have all manner of people, especially in that Orlu. And let me tell you something. I don't know why they are targeting Imo State. Because you see, Imo State, especially the Owere, used to be a place all of us will want to go because it's peaceful, it is calm, it is clean. Or it was. Let me use the word was. But I don't know what it is now. But when they came, everybody is forming their own, not trying to do something. Have you also gathered yourself together to be able to do something? You see, that's why I've always said this. Don't accuse me of going against the Biafran agitation. Let me tell you what I have always said. I went to Aba once. And in that Aba, I stayed for 2 months. And I looked at Aba, I looked at the industrial nature of the Aba people, the adventurous nature of the Aba people. And I saw that government just neglected them, especially the state government. I asked a question. If they get the Biafran government, who are the people that is going to lead the Biafran government? Are they not still the same people? Who cannot even do? Because you see, for me, if you have to show me what you can do at the upper side, show me what you can do at the family level. That's the problem. We are not organized. Because whether you like it or we are former Eastern states, well, all of us are from here. So we are not even organized. In our own instance, have you even come to ask us whether we want to even be members of the Biafra or want to go? What is it that they have shown us that can allay our fears, that when we come together we will not do it?
We'll succeed.
We'll succeed. Or somebody is just doing anything. And I can tell you that if there's anybody I can call innocent, it's even the Nnamdi. You know why? He could be agitating. And of course, you use words that will bring these youth together. And those words are very offensive words. Insult this person. Tell us that a president was dead. And then we brought another president. Tell us this one has happened. And then we brought. Those are the things that even stopped the NSAS protest. The NSAS protest would have turned to revolution. Because there's a time at which people's protest and the international community will be involved in it. But we cut it off. Because as soon as we begin to say, hey, if you see a soldier, kill the soldier, collect arms, everybody, a country will stand up. And let me say here, don't forget that even the government might have to also sponsor some other splitter groups to be able to do what they're doing.
You know, I have also told you that
they said
the governor also has his own security. The question is, I think they are called the Bago. That I told you, Asari came out to openly say that those boys were recruited. Yes, they are recruited from him. Now the question is, we have security forces in Imo State.
Yes.
Why didn't the governor engage them in full capacity, empower them? In this country, you can bear witness that when the police wants to work, they will work. When civil defense was to work, and you know, again, Nigerians tend to always call the police civil defense is also, they also are saddled with the responsibility of securing lives and properties as well. Yes. Now, these security operatives, these security systems, they are in Imo State. Why didn't the governor actively engage them to combat crime and criminality and extrajudicial killings? Rather, he brought his own.
Now, let me take it from... I'm sure you're pushing me to say something I don't want to say. And that is
How
to say
am
that...
I pushing you to say
no,
something
I'm telling
you don't
you.
want to say?
No, what I want to say is this.
Uh-huh.
Our military, who are not outside being Nigerians, are more ethnic than you will think. Okay. And so there's this trust deficit. Now, if you bring a military person or bring police and all of that to do those same job that the local vigilantes, quote unquote, or the local community policing would have done, you will see people begin to still accuse them. And I know that. And so the governor, like you said, should have also had empowered them. And with a legal, backed by the legislative act, to bring in some internal policing outfit. Because you know why that...
The governor has one.
Yes, that's what I'm saying now.
The question
but
now they are culpable of extrajudicial killing as well.
Now that's what I'm saying.
In fact, when you go to Imo State, Orlu, for instance, and ask questions, they will tell you that the Bubago have done more killing than the other people. I mean, the people brought in by Governor Zodema, they have done more extrajudicial killing than any other outfit.
Chairman, I will not stay here to know whether they have done more or not, because the Omoma is still there.
Omoma is there, ESN is there.
ESN is there.
Unknown gunmen.
Unknown gunmen are there.
Yes.
So,
and you recall prior to the August 1st, the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest, I think that was the last day of July.
Yes.
At very close to the government house in Owerri, some men came out to shoot and warn people not to dare step out of their houses to protest. It was a Gestapo style of action that happened, the shootout. And that also put the Imo residents in fear. They dared not come out for that protest.
The worst of it, Choba, is that you don't even know who to fear, whether it's the Omoma,
or the Bubago,
or the ESN,
or unknown government,
or even the security outfit.
Which one is the security outfit?
What I mean that the government security outfit, the police, the army, the...
How active have they been in Imo State?
That's what they are saying. They've been there, like you have said. They need certain impetus to be able to work. They need certain cooperation, certain intelligence from the local to be able to acceptance.
And secondly, Chizi, the IPoB talked about militarization of the Southeast.
Yes.
Now, if you're traveling from, let's say, River State, where we are, to Anambra State, for example, do you know how many police checkpoints you cross? In fact, somewhere between Imo State and Anambra State, before Ihiala, there is a military cantonment there. If the level of traffic that happens in that place, in fact, it was so bad that one day a trailer failed brake. He was trying to pump his brake. Apparently, the brake did not catch, and they were shouting. I was inside my car. I didn't even know, and the trailer used my vehicle to wedge itself. And at that point, I even got angry. I came out of my car and walked straight to the military people. And I told them that ordinarily, you people, this thing has no business, because they were not checking vehicles. They were not searching people. It was not a stop and search. It was just the fun of being in power and frustrating travelers. And at the end of the day, I went there, parked my car. The trailer could not even hold the brake. He kept rolling down. In fact, then when they saw what was going on, that was when they had to quickly clear the road for people to move. And not even an apology. And of course, the trailer itself could not even stop because his brake was already faulty. These are the issues that happened there. And with all the militarization of the Southeast, like they have said, these military people, on patrol and arresting and killing people indiscriminately. Why are these people? These are the questions. If Imo State, for example, is heavily militarized, how come these people are still able to operate? Is there a political undertone to this? Is there something we do not know? What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. It's even worse. You are even mentioning from Port Harcourt to Anambra. I'm just saying from Omrelu, which is a boundary village, to the next Omago, which is also a boundary village. You will see more than 10
Police checkpoints.
Police checkpoints. And then you begin to wonder whether we're in war or something.
And you also did not mention military checkpoints. You also did not mention civil defense.
Civil
you also
defense.
did not mention road safety.
Road safety, customs, and all of that.
Yes.
And yet, these whole issues are still happening. That means that the intelligence, the security intelligence has failed. It has failed in this country because you don't even need to see. You see, Chairman, when I was growing up, I'm not too old, I'm also not too young. But each time you see a military person, especially army,
there's an awe.
There's an
and
awe.
respect.
There's this respect.
Yes, adoration.
There's this adoration. You want to know how they behave, how they do. But today, they're on the street. They are like any other gangster. They are there. People no longer fear them. In fact, these young boys will tell them that the gun you're using is small to what we can use. They can't.
I think that the security force that has retained that respect is the Navy. You rarely see them.
Because they are.
You rarely see
because
them.
they are also in the waterways. You know, it's not.
So we don't know what is going on.
That's what I'm saying. If you go to waterways, just travel from Port Harcourt to Bonny, you will see more than 6 checkpoints by the Navy.
Interesting.
So it's not like it's because of where the army
land,
is.
so
yes.
Okay.
So it's like we're having a territorial war internally. Meanwhile, the military is supposed to protect our territorial integrity. We're not having. So the police is not even doing anything. The police is there to collect their money and all of that. And so there's need for village vigilante to support the army. There was supposed to be a swift operation. That means that upon intelligence, they can just come and do.
When you talk about local vigilantes, local security networks supporting the army, in the first place, the military, are they even supposed to be in these villages? They
are not supposed, but when, see, the situation we have found ourselves, just don't just get, Jesus to only Southeast. The situation we have even found ourselves in the north and all of that has also threatened the territorial integrity of this country. So the military will have to come out. But even when they have to come out, they are supposed to be in combat.
The southeast, let's use Imo State now.
Yes.
Because that's what we're discussing.
Yes.
Imo State is heavily militarized.
Yeah.
Yet, killings are happening.
That's what
kidnaps are happening. Extrajudicial killings, crime and criminality. The life in Imo State is literally dead. Imo State used to be the hub of, I wouldn't call it tourism, but you know, when it comes to hotel and hospitality, that's the major source of IGR for Imo State.
For Imo State, yes.
That has come to a halt. You understand? We're not even talking about governance and infrastructural deficits. That we are not going there. But we're now looking at how it has affected lives, how it has affected jobs, how it has affected security, and all of that. When you look at it critically, in face of all these challenges, it's heavily militarized. You would expect that with the presence of the military, some level of sanity will return to these communities. But even with the presence of the military, these killings and forced disappearances are happening. And now IPoB has come out to call out the military and say the military is part of the person's killing. Now, when I am even questioning IPoB that a more powerful that wrote this statement is aware of the actions of Ebubago in Imo State. They are aware of the actions of Umoma in Imo State. They are aware of the actions of the ESN in Imo State. They are aware of the actions of unknown gunmen in Imo State. Why calling out only the military and the police?
That's what I'm saying.
Why not call out what is the root cause of all these things? Why not call out these people? Or is the IPoB trying to say it is okay
for these people to do what
these people to kill the Igbos, but the military should not, have any hand in. Make it make sense to me, because I mean, these are people that are culpable, that Imo people will come out to point. They will point at ESN, they will point at Umoma, they will point at Ebubago, and probably not even at the military.
Yes.
But then, that's on one hand. Now, there is a conundrum. IPoB seems to be playing a preferential thing here. On the other hand, the question is there a political undertone? If it is heavily militarized, why are they not able, why is the military not able to bring sanity to Imo State?
You've just mentioned two issues that I want to treat. Firstly, is that, like what you just said, if you ask out of every 10 of the Imo State indigenes, if you ask them, 8 will tell you that Umoma, Ebubago, ESN, or non-government are in and they even want the military. But the question is, even the military is not living up to expectation by even going after those persons. I can tell you that. And again, like you said, the man, the IPoB person would have come out to condemn what the Obama is doing, or these other persons do, but they can't. They can't because they are weak at that. Because for them, it looks to me that that is their support group. So it looks to me that
they are saying they will take up arms to defend their territory.
Umoma is taking up arms now.
No, IPoB is different. Umoma is different from IPoB.
That is what I'm saying.
ESN is different. Let's make this clear.
IPoB,
Umoma, Ebubago, ESN, they are very different from IPoB.
Of course, I have known that, but they are all Imo indigenes or Igbo indigenes. Are they? They are. If you are arguing for something and you feel that you are an umbrella body that is trying to argue for the welfare of your people, for the progress of your people, then it is the onus is also in you to tell your own people to stop what they're doing.
Let me also make another clarification. ESN allegedly, according to Imo people, they say ESN is the security outfit of Simon Ekpa. IPoB is Nnamdi
Kanu. So everybody has their own.
Now, it's clearer to you now. So now, the question is, why is IPoB not calling out these people and calling out the military? And then why is the military
not also living up to their responsibility?
Well, a lot going on.
It looks to me that the military just want to stay and say, kill yourself if you want to kill yourself. While we protect the government in power. That's all.
How do you protect the government in power?
Because they know that as soon as you go to government house, as soon as you want to go to government house, they are there to come. So just go and kill yourself if you want to kill yourself.
So if that is,
we need to call back our
what it is, would you say that the concerns of IPoB in this instance is correct?
No, the only reason why it is partly correct, that it has to be a holistic thing for you to tell me that it's correct. Only if you call on those other groups. Maybe if IPoB dare calls Umoma will go after them. Maybe if they do.
Wow, interesting. Fingers crossed, this is a developing story and we'll bring it to you as it develops. But then on to Edo State.